Hello there, this is the Shadow Ranger. I haven't done just a general topic video in a while, so I'm just gonna talk about several different things in wrestling that's on my mind today. This might end up being a long video, just to let you know. First off, I got a question sent to me from BlackRock316. Gonna talk a little bit about that. It was a topic I was kind of planning to talk about, so let me read what he said, and then I'll go ahead and get into it. He wrote, I was thinking about the video you did a while back about the X Division and asking what was so great about it. I know nothing about Destination X pay-per-view buy rates. I heard one of the pro wrestling radios this past Thursday night after Impact. One of the hosts said Destination X buy rates were low and that the X Division didn't draw any money. Do you think the buy rates for Destination X are still going to be low and won't make much of a difference then and now? The buy rate for Destination X, what might it be? It really depends on how serious all these people are who constantly yell about the X Division needs to be pushed, the X Division needs to be pushed, the X Division needs to be pushed. Destination X is put up or shut up time for all of you people. All you people who constantly talk about we want more X Division and the X Division is great wrestling, this athleticism, and it needs to be pushed more, it needs to be pushed more, it needs to be pushed more. Here's your chance to prove it. I'm going to say this, if you don't buy this pay-per-view, you have no more right to complain about the X Division not being showcased enough. They're giving you an entire X Division pay-per-view. They're bringing back X Division wrestlers of the past. They're going to introduce some brand new X Division wrestlers. And from my understanding, spoiler alert, okay, two of the matches are supposed to be Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn being an X Division pioneer, and many people saying, you know, RVD was X Division before there was an X Division. And the main event is going to be AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, the third three-way. What else could you want? All you people who constantly complain about not getting enough X Division, not showcasing X Division, it's put up or shut up time. We'll see how the X Division really fares with people's wallets. How many of you out there who complain about there not being enough X Division are going to take your money out and buy this pay-per-view? Not download the next day, not illegally stream it. I'm talking about call your pay-per-view or satellite provider and pay the $34 to see this show on pay-per-view. And I'm gonna make a prediction here. If this pay-per-view isn't deemed a success, the X Division title is gonna be retired. I could easily see them doing something where like they just unify the X Division, the TV titles, and the TV title remains, or they change it to something different, and there's no more X Division. Because now they have an excuse. They're going to say, hey, we did a whole X Division pay-per-view, and you didn't buy it. So obviously people don't care about the X Division as much as the IWC crowd thinks there was. I wonder, maybe all this screaming about the X Division, maybe that's just the what Eric Bischoff called the 10%ers. Maybe it's just the 10%ers who like the X Division. We're doing an all X Division pay-per-view. They're giving you, I mean, anything a fan of the X Division could want. Let's see how many of these people actually pay their money to see this show. Let's see how many buy rates it gets. If it don't get buys, y'all got no more right to complain. That's my personal opinion. And if this pay-per-view doesn't get a good buy rate, that's going to be my response to anybody who complains about the X Division not getting pushed. You had an all X Division pay-per-view, you didn't buy it. So obviously the X Division don't matter. That's what I got to say about it. But thanks for the question, BlackRock316. Feel free to send more if you want. Alright, next, the Bound for Glory series was announced this week on Impact, and what all that's going to entail. So let's go over it real quick, and then I'll get my thoughts on it. There are 12 wrestlers in this series. Rob Van Dam, Samoa Joe, Bully Ray, Scott Steiner, Jane Storm, Robert Roode, Gunner, Crimson, AJ Styles, Pope, Devon, Matt Morgan. Right off the bat, I'd rather see Devon taken out and Robbie E put in, but that's just me. Anyway, starting from now, leading into No Surrender, every match that these wrestlers have, they will gain points for. At No Surrender, the 4 guys with the highest points will compete in a fatal 4-way match, and the winner of that match will get the main event world title shot at Bound for Glory. I like this concept. I hope it's successful. I'm going to tell you all the reasons why I like this concept. Number 1, they're promoting Bound for Glory months in advance. Think about how long before we start hearing about WrestleMania. They start talking about WrestleMania in like November, December. We start hearing about it. I mean, WrestleMania's in April. They're doing everything. They're talking about the Royal Rumble in December and the WrestleMania countdown. They spend months advertising WrestleMania and hyping WrestleMania on TV. TNA should do the same with Bound for Glory. Hype it for months. Do it. Make people understand. Hey, this is a very important pay-per-view. This is, if you only order one pay-per-view, this is the show you need to watch. You get to showcase all of these different wrestlers. And sorry, went blank there for a second. And a criticism I've heard people say over the past few years is that a problem with wrestling today is that they don't feel like the matches matter. They don't feel like wins and losses are important. Like, if a guy wins, it's great, but unless if it's not a title match or a number 1 contenders match, the wins and losses don't seem to matter that much. Well, with this concept, every match these guys has matters, because every match they have is a chance to get points. Every match they have on Impact, every match they have on pay-per-view, even the matches they have at on house shows, and no matter what type of match it is, counts towards their standing. Now, let's go over the point system. If a wrestler wins a match by submission, they will gain 10 points. If they win by pinfall, they will gain 7 points. If they win by countout, they will win 5 points. If they win by disqualification, they get 3 points. If the match ends in a draw, they get 2 points. However, if they get disqualified in the match, they will lose 10 points. The first match in the series was this week on Impact. Was Rob Van Dam defeated Samoa Joe by pinfall, so he's now on the board with 7 points. Every match that these guys have, that these 12 men have, from now through No Surrender, is important. No match they have is a throwaway match. We talk kayfabe wise, every match they have matters, because every match is a chance for points. And not only and because of the point system, it's not only important that they win, it's even important how they win. See, most people think, hey, a win is a win is a win, but not in this case. A win is a win is not just a win. It's not just that you win, it's how you win that's even important. Because some guy might need a few points to get into the top 4 toward the end of this, and he will for a pinfall and realize, man, I can't pin this guy. That only gives me 7 points. I need 10 points to make it to the top 10. I have to win this match by submission to get to be able to make it in the top 4. You want to stay in the top 4. Every chance you get, the important thing is to be in the top 4. So let's say, Rob Van Dam, he needs 10 points to put himself in the top 4. That means he has to win his match by submission. He might be able to hit the 5-star frog splash and get the pinfall on his opponent, but it's like, I can't pin him. Pin's not enough. It has to be by submission. Is a wrestler gonna risk cheating? If you might want to risk cheating to win, but hey, if you get caught, you lose 10 points. You don't want to risk that. Say one of these dudes wins a championship in between the time, has to defend their title. That's even a more of a big risk. If let's say Gunner beats Eric Young and wins his TV title back, and then down the line he's defending the TV title against, say, Crimson, right? Crimson's beating him. And normally what a champ might do, a heel champion might, get themselves intentionally disqualified or just leave on count out. But he can't do that. If he gets intentionally disqualified, he loses 10 points. And he needs to win to gain points. So you're not going to have dudes throwing matches or, walking out or getting intentionally disqualified to save a belt, because that's too important too. I like the concept. Every match that these guys have is important because of this series. No matter what. A match that you think could just be nothing. Freaking Brother Devon could have a match on Explosion next week against Robbie E. That match is important because Devon has to gain points. I like this. This is a great concept. It makes the belt look important. It makes every match that these guys have, every match for the next, what is this, June, July, August, September, the next 3+ months, every match they have is going to be important. It's a great concept, and I'm glad they did it. I think this is going to work out pretty well. And it's really all in how you book it. Because, you got house show things, too. So you can always jump up and say, hey, such and such won a match on a house show this weekend. So he gained this many points. So that way you can always do some booking. You can just say a fictitious house show that never really happened. Yeah, when we was at this match in Wisconsin last week, Samoa Joe pins, Amazing Red, and he got 7 points, so he got 7 more points. And we're like, what? When did that happen? You don't gotta tell them. We lied to you. It helps. But it's an all-around good concept, and I hope it's successful. And I think it will be, and it's something interesting. It's something new. Everybody's always screaming, TNA, you gotta do something new. You have to do something new. You have to do something new. Here's something new. A new concept that you're not seeing in WWE. I think, there might have been, I think that old WCW thing was kind of like this, though. Didn't WCW used to have something like tag team thing that had a point system or something? I can't remember. But anyway, let's move on here. All overall, Bound for Glory series. I mean, there's a couple of people who I'd rather see in it than some of the guys here. Devon's in it. It's like, really, Devon? I mean, I'd much rather see, Christopher Daniels in this instead of Devon. But, of course, with Christopher Daniels, his status is still a little shaky because you don't know what he's going to be doing with Ring of Honor in the future. So, that's probably why they're not putting him in it. They explain that since Kurt Angle won the #1 contendership by beating Jeff Jarrett, that he's not in it, so he's not in it. I understand that. I'd much rather see maybe like Robbie E in this. One of the British Invasion, I'd like to see them in it. Is Hernandez in this? Hernandez isn't in it. That's kind of odd. But, I doubt Devon and is going to get that far in it. The final 4 guys, I'm going to say, let's see here. AJ Styles. Actually, I think AJ versus Anderson is going to be the main event of Bound for Glory. So I'm picking AJ Styles to win this thing already. But, another thing, you can build a guy up really well even if he doesn't win the whole thing because it ends in a 4-way. Like Crimson. Crimson can still be undefeated. Crimson doesn't have to lose his undefeated streak to not win this because it ends in a fatal 4-way. Crimson could win every match he has going in, make it to the fatal 4-way, right? But then he not be the guy that gets pinned. He doesn't win, but he's not the one that gets pinned. He still counts. That still counts as being undefeated. He still hasn't been pinned. He still never tapped. He didn't get pinned. Let's say the finals is AJ Styles, Crimson, Rob Van Dam, and Matt Morgan. And then the match ends with AJ Styles pinning Rob Van Dam. Doesn't hurt Crimson. He didn't get beat. He didn't lose. He just didn't get the pin. He's still undefeated, and he got built up well by beating so many other people on his way to the Final 4. But let's see. Let me call my Final 4 right now. Who's going to be my Final 4? I'm going to say Matt Morgan, AJ Styles, Crimson, and Man, it's a lot of guys I can really see being there. Because I can really see RVD being at Final Four. I can see Samoa Joe being there. I can see Rude being there. I can see Gunner getting in that spot. Although I do think Gunner and Crimson are going to face each other at Bound for Glory. Hopefully it's for the TV title. Gunner can get that belt back, which is going to lead into something else. But I'm going to say Matt Morgan, AJ Styles, Crimson, and Rob Van Dam as the Final Four. Alright, what's next going on here? Jeff Jarrett has been written off TV, it appears, since he lost that parking lot fight to Kurt Angle that he signed a paper saying he would leave and go to Mexico. He's actually going to be appearing at a Mexican promotion, AAA, their big event coming up. I think that's either this weekend. And my guess is he's just going to stick around and work there because he's kind of doing some sort of like TNA invasion angle. Or maybe he's like sitting, or either that he can end up where he makes friends with dudes there and sends some of the AAA guys to TNA to maybe try to take out Kurt Angle for him since he can't do it himself. That could be fun. Just a lot of foreign talent coming after Kurt Angle because Jeff Jarrett sent him. That could be a really good, interesting angle to bring in talents from anywhere and put them in matches with Kurt Angle. They could send talents from all over the world, not just Mexico, because Jeff Jarrett can travel anywhere. He could travel to Canada and overseas, and they could do a whole angle of just foreign guys that Jeff Jarrett sent to take out Kurt Angle for him because he can't be there to do it himself. But really, I think this feeds into what I thought. I said that I think that after the Slammiversary match, Jeff Jarrett was going to be written off television for a while. Probably a long time since they're doing this whole thing. He's moving to Mexico. And he's probably going to be wrestling there. And I was talking about, Karen coming in and her being a manager. The first part of what I said, the first two parts that I said happened. I said Kurt Angle would beat Jeff Jarrett. That happened. Then I said that Kurt Angle was going to be off TV for a long time afterwards. That's happening too. The third part I say is Karen comes in as a manager, managing some new talents, male and female. Like I said, the two I mentioned in my other After Immortal videos, that she would be the manager of Isis the Amazon and Sarah Del Rey. Isis because Isis is huge and you can draw money with Isis because she's 6'10", and Sarah Del Rey because every freaking indie women's wrestling fan wants Sarah Del Rey on TV. And I just think it would really piss a lot of the IWC off to see Karen Jarrett as the manager of Sarah Del Rey. I think it would be awesome. Maybe a couple of guys. A group I see that always looks pretty cool that I think could fit well with Karen. Is a group from Chicago called Fist. Fist stands for Friends in Similar Tights. Check them out and they would come in and being managed by Karen. Just 3 new guys. I think that could work too. It's just a weird thing I thought of, but when I picture her with that group, it just works for me. But yeah, I totally support Karen Jarrett as a manager. Name her stable Karen Jarrett Enterprises, the KJE. What else? Jackie Moore returned on Impact this week. I've always been a fan of her. Alright, I had to stop for a second. Yeah, I was talking about Jackie being back, and she, showed up on Impact this week and attacked Velvet Sky. It just had me thinking about what I was talking about, them really wanting to push Velvet more, and I really see them sort of heading into Bound for Glory of Velvet Sky and Mickie James. That in the next couple of months, Velvet's gonna get rid of ODB. She'll get rid of Jackie. She'll finish things off with Winter. She'll beat them all in the coming months, and it'll be her and Mickie at Bound for Glory. And I can see Velvet Sky winning that belt and her being a really good champion. I know she's not the greatest in the ring, and I'm just gonna start using Eric Bischoff's term. I like the term he made. I'm gonna keep using the 10%ers. They're gonna hate it because she she don't wrestle like Sarah Del Rey and everything, but you can bring in all the Sarah Del Reys to fight her and have her beat them all. I'm telling you, I'd put that belt on Velvet at Battle for Glory, and I'd start booking her like John Cena. Not as much, like I said before, you know. If we DDT Velvet on concrete or throw her through a spotlight, she's not gonna show up the next night on TV. She'll be out for a few weeks and sell the injuries and stuff. But she would be that one that always comes back, always overcomes the odds, and I think she could be a very great champion that people will really get behind. Fans are already behind her. But anyway, Jackie is just somebody I've always liked. You know, she was probably one of the first female wrestlers that I was really, really big on. You know, I've been watching Jackie since the mid-90s in WCW when she was with like the Taskmaster, Kevin Sullivan and stuff. And, you know, I've always enjoyed her. I've always liked seeing her. I didn't like when she left TNA a couple years ago, and I was always hoping that she would come back. And I'm glad that she is back. You know, I don't think she's going to team up with, you know, her and ODB. That's another team that can go for those tag titles. Just more of the tough, old school brawler team. That would be really, really cool. Jackie Moore and Jazz as a team. That would be pretty cool too. But Jackie is just somebody I've always liked, and she's just always good to see. I'm glad to see her back. And I know some people try to get on and say, oh, she's old because she's 47 and all. Fuck you. Jackie is awesome. She has always been awesome. And anytime she's on TV is great to me. She looks great. You know, and you know something else about Jackie? She just doesn't seem to age. You know, I've been watching her since Taskmaster in like 96, 97. She doesn't look that different. She just got a thing about her, man. But you know, it's always nice to see her, man. I can go on and on about how much I like Jackie. It's just always I'm just always glad to see her, man. Let's see here. I'm at 22 minutes. I got two other topics I want to talk about. One thing I'm not liking in TNA right now is Eric Young winning the TV title. I don't understand who thought that was a good idea, but I hate seeing him with that belt. And it's not that I don't like EY. I actually am a big fan of EY. I love EY a lot. He's one of my favorite guys, but he's just not doing anything with that belt. That belt, he's a joke character, and that belt is a joke with him having it. And plus, he's still walking around with that old world title belt. I wish they would end that. I don't know why he took that belt off Gunner, because there's so much more potential. Personally, I think Gunner needs to beat him down bad and take that TV title from him and let Gunner run with that belt until Bound for Glory. And I would build Gunner up and do Gunner versus Crimson for the TV title at Bound for Glory. Just two of the newer guys, and you can just compare how, you know, they both came to TNA in 2011. Well, they both sort of came to really got into the spotlight in 2011, because Gunner was there until the end of 2010, not really doing anything. And they both had very good years. They both been very successful. You know, Crimson's undefeated. Gunner's beaten 2 world champions, and he could pin a couple more. Who else can we got here that's a former world champion he could pin? You know, let Gunner down the line get a win over, let's say, Scott Steiner. Let him get a win on maybe RVD somewhere down the line. Let him get a pin on... What else we got? It wouldn't hurt him to get it wouldn't hurt Angle to lose a match to him. You know, a flash pin out of nowhere. Maybe have some interference. When you can have interference in the match and he gets a pin on Kurt Angle, and you can kind of, you know, like, I remember when Anderson first debuted on SmackDown, they was talking about the whole he's beaten 8 former world champions since he's been here, but, you know, just, you know, you can run off top name guys that Gunner has beaten since he came to TNA, and him being the TV champion with Crimson's undefeated streak, and just 2 rookies going at it on the biggest stage of them all, 2 guys who made their names in TNA in 2011, and put them head to head for that title. I probably have Crimson win and take that title and run with it too, because Gunner's going to get built up pretty well on it, and you can move him into some bigger feuds. But I just like to see that match at Bound for Glory. There's a lot of matches I like to see Crimson in. Crimson versus Matt Morgan sometime soon. I like to see that too. But anyway, I got off topic there. This just anybody else. You know, I look at the roster, the TNA roster. There's just so many other people I would rather see doing something with their TV title. They could be doing something good with it instead of EY walking around joking with it. You know, Samoa Joe could be going for that belt because he wants to complete the Grand Slam. So could Kurt Angle. You know, Robbie E. I like to see him with that belt. And I said, you know, very simple. I said this in one of my older videos, the gunning, everyone's gunning for Gunner video. The show is the hottest thing on television, therefore, they should have the television title. That's all the excuse he needs, right there. That could be a fun feud. I wouldn't mind seeing him take that belt from EY. Who else we got here? OJ could be going for that belt. I probably wouldn't have him win it. Matt Morgan, although Matt Morgan did say he's focused more on the world title, that's understandable. You know, you got Matt Hardy, you got Kazarian, you got, if Beer Money does end up breaking up, Rude or Storm could go for it. You know, Hernandez, Christopher Daniels, Pope, Crimson, Bully Ray, you know, Alex Shelley with Saban's out to next year, so Shelley could either go for the TV title or the X Division title since he's going to be flying solo for till sometime next year. There's so many other guys that could be doing some relevant stuff with that belt, and they just got EY joking around with it. I don't get that, you know. But let me not rant about that for too long. What else? Damn, I'm at 26 minutes. Well, I might as well do it real quick. Real quick, I'll give some picks for Capital Punishment, WWE Capital Punishment. I'm really not interested in this pay-per-view. Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. They feuded so many times. Why are they feuding now? I don't even know. Punk for no good reason. Alex Riley versus The Miz. Not that I really care. You know, it's odd. People bash TNA for having Gunner pin Ken Anderson and having Gunner pin Sting, but Alex Riley beat the shit out of The Miz. Everybody's okay with that. Anyway, I don't see Riley win. I'll pick The Miz to beat Alex Riley. Del Rio versus Big Show. Big Show sure does heal quick from getting hit by a car. Del Rio. One of the matches I actually am interested in seeing for the Intercontinental title, Wade Barrett versus Ezekiel Jackson. I actually am interested in this one. I am picking Ezekiel Jackson to win. I really do want him to win this match. Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. Don't really care, but I'll pick Kofi to retain. World Heavyweight title, Randy Orton versus Christian. I don't really give a crap. Orton. Of course, I did hear Orton may have a concussion, so they might want to take the belt off of him. But yeah, I've said before, Christian's not world champion material. Never has been, never will be. I'll pick Orton. And John Cena versus R-Truth. Cena. I mean, actually, no. Normally, I would just pick Cena, no question, no doubt in my mind. I'm gonna pick R-Truth because I've been hearing rumors that John Cena has been injured and he's been working with injuries. And I'm gonna pick it because of WrestleMania. If John Cena has some injuries, he needs to be off, take time off, and heal up. John Cena's too important right now. Not just because he's John Cena, because if he gets a serious injury that requires a lot of time off, that requires months and months and months and months of rehab, you ruined WrestleMania. You built WrestleMania that you promised 1 year ahead of time that the main event of WrestleMania 28 will be John Cena versus The Rock. That match is going to sell WrestleMania on its own. If anything happens to John Cena and he can't make WrestleMania, your pay-per-view is shot. No one's going to buy WrestleMania. If we don't get John Cena versus The Rock, there's no other match you're going to build up that's going to make people want WrestleMania. We're all waiting for that match. I'm waiting for it. That's a dream match to me, and I'm already hyped to see it. I want to see Cena versus The Rock. If Cena gets hurt because you had him working injured, you fucked WrestleMania. That can't happen. For that reason alone, I might say that makes me think R-Truth might get the belt for a little while. Truth could feud. There's plenty of people Truth could feud with. He could feud with Ray. He could feud with Morrison when Morrison comes back. You know, he can shoot, a big show for a month. Just however many months you need. You can come up with enough title matches, pay-per-view title matches for R-Truth to have until Cena's better and ready to come get the belt back. So, just because I'm hearing these injury rumors about Cena, that reason alone I'm going to pick R-Truth. Alright. I've been talking for over 30 minutes and I have to pause a little bit in this match, so I've just been here for even longer than that. So let me go ahead and end this video. Yeah. This is the Shadow Ranger. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.